Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here with Elauno, our channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Few adjustments here. Trying to adjust the room every time. Trying to do something different and trying to play with the lights overall. Have an ambience that is different. So I prepared some topics for today, and we're gonna dive right into it. I got some news article, and I want to talk about the Crowdstrike IT outage that happened on Friday. And apparently there was a big event that disrupted different industries. And so what happened is that this IT outage was triggered by a defect in an update issued by this company called Crowdstrike. And this update hit global operations. This was on Friday. And it caused chaos in travel, hospitals, even some broadcasters here. And they say that it was caused by a defect in an update for Windows. So I was looking on X, and some people were saying that somebody made up this picture of when you have the blue error message on your computer with the sad face, and somebody put that on a Tesla, on the screen of Tesla, just like to create some uproar. I don't know to say, like, hey, even electric vehicles have been affected by this event, but in reality was not the truth because Tesla runs on Linux, so it's a different operating system compared to Windows. So there was just something made up. And so what we have here, so the Friday outage linked to cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike affected operations around the world that has been compared to Y2K. I suppose the Y2K is the same. So once we were at the cusp of the year 2000, they thought that computers could not understand the change of the clock, I suppose. So there was they thought there was going to be a huge problem with all computer platforms around the world, and we were going to have a major outage like it happened now. And it says here, flights have been grounded, some medical procedures and appointments were canceled, and TV networks were taken off the air. So there are 7 points here the article highlights, and he says that where is it? It just escaped me now. A single update was responsible. The issue was caused by a defect in an update for Windows. And shortly after the issues emerged, they say that it was initially thought to be a cyber attack, but it was not. And it was just an outage caused by this update. I don't know how that's possible, but if you manage something this big, you really should have contingencies in that regard. And they say that the issue was identified, isolated, and fixed, and it affected lots of flights, air travel to a standstill, lots of people grounded. Trains, gas stations were also affected, also those traveling by rail, and did not entirely escape the travel chaos. Like, for example, they said that the New York subway announced that train arrival information was unavailable for many trains. And in the UK, the thing is that it was global. I'm really surprised that they were the networks were so connected. Train networks was in the UK were also disrupted. The National Rail website cited IT issues across the entire network. Some train operators are unable to access driver diagrams at certain locations, leading to potential short notice train cancellations. Hospitals and surgeries were affected. UK, also everything in the UK. National Health Service has issued, like they had appointments with patients for surgeries, but they were not able to go through because the record system was messed up as well. In Germany, same thing. Hospitals canceled elective operations scheduled for Friday. And also governments and federal agencies were involved and affected by this Crowdstrike faulty software updates. In the end, governments and their agencies around the world were quick to address the chaos. The Department of Homeland Security said that they were working with Crowdstrike and Microsoft for local critical infrastructure just to assess. What else? Some broadcasters fell off the air. Expect the disruption to continue. I think it's going to take a few days for the entire system to come back online. But I was just reading now, it's a couple of days later when I'm recording this, and he says that there is a way to get around the update and that people can basically try to restore. There is a workaround how to deal with this issue. My thing is, so the thing is, like, Crowdstrike is a giant company. I mean, if you manage a global network with Microsoft operational system, you have a huge network, have a big responsibility. How can a single company like this, you have a single node standing supporting the entire global infrastructure based on this kind of software, and then something, you could say there's something minor. I mean, an update is supposed to make things better, but in this case, it was just a downfall of everything. And how's this possible? How big is this company? So let me see. I mean, it's I'm pretty sure the value of the company is $74 billion, and it fell 11% on Friday. Understandably, but if I see their stock, it was falling already. You see the past 6 months. So July 8th, that was the highest the company had. The stock was worth $390.71. And then $377, July 15th, and then it just completely tanked. And I say, like, market cap $74.22 billion. It's an American cybersecurity technology company based in Austin, Texas, providing cloud workload protection and endpoint security, threat intelligence, and cyber attack response services. I mean, founded in 2011. And then I saw the George Kurtz went on a media outlet, and he was almost choking. He can, like, this is something major. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. By the way, yeah, because it's a huge responsibility for him, for anyone actually, but it's incredible. So the company has 8,429 employees and has a annual revenue as of 2023 of 2.241 billion USD. And I think Elon Musk said that they discontinued any Crowdstrike deals that they had with them because they had anything they were dealing with the company. So this is big. This is big for this company. Something like this happened once. It can happen again. Some people were saying, like, oh, the company pledged a lot of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, so to hire more women, more diverse people, and this and that, and they may address this issue as being one of the reasons why the company failed like this. I mean, I don't want to go that far to explain and to say that, but it's when you hire people, you hire the best people. no matter their color, no matter their creed, religion, sexual orientation, etc. You just do your best and try to be objective. The only measurement in that case is performance. Can you do the job? Can you do it well? If I have a pool of 100 candidates and I have to choose from some of them, am I going to look for the most diverse ones? Not really. I'm going to look for the ones that are more qualified to do the job in the end. So I don't know if that was their demise in the particular case, but that's definitely something they need to deal with, because this cannot happen. You're such a large company, and how many other companies lost money, lost service, disruptions. Did anybody lose their life? Who knows? But I think to have a single company deal with so much, it's bad. You need to have contingencies in place, and that's crazy. So what we have here, somebody, whenever you are in the media of a financial education space and everything, there's always a few group of people that predict the next big bubble, the next big financial burst. And they're able to predict it and say, oh, that's 2024, 2025 is going to be the year that financial collapse, by looking at the data and everything, and then really nothing happens. Now, I don't want to say that nothing happens, but everybody tries to make envision a scenario as 2008 with today, and say like we're gonna have a huge financial crisis because interest rates are relatively high, the high 6%, I suppose. It's not really high compared to decades ago, where they were in the 10s or 15% for mortgages, property. So that's total different scenario. However, our dollar today is worth much less than back then. I mean, there is a series of consideration to take, but every once in a while you have people that come in and just say every year, they say, we're going to have a financial crisis, collapse, S&P 500 is going to cut and be in half, 3,000 points, whatever. I'm not a I'm not an economist, but I have enough knowledge to talk about a few things and just provide my opinion here. So, the greatest bubble in human history is close to bursting. Black Swan investor Mark Spitznagel. This is a very funny name. Come on, guys. And so he's a bearish investor, predicts stock may soon lose over half their value in a sell-off. Do you see? There you go. He says a recession could happen by the end of the year, fueled by the government's $34 trillion debt. His fund, Universal Investment, has made billions from past stock market crises. So he says the market is heading toward a historical sell-off, reiterating an uber bearish. This is journalism, one fantastic, uber bearish. Wow. Warning for investors who are getting comfortable with steady stock gains amid the frenzy over artificial intelligence. In a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal, Spitznagel said the years-long rally in the stock market amounted to the greatest bubble in human history. He pointed similarities with the dot-com bubble, when investors poured money into tech stock before the frenzy fizzled and the Nasdaq crashed in 2000. You don't feel like a fool for making a bearish argument, he told the Journal. But he said that in addition to this bubble created by artificial intelligence, the government's $34 trillion debt could make it more difficult for the Federal Reserve to turn the economy around in time to avoid a recession. And it says that the current rally will likely continue for months as inflation continues to fall and the Fed eases monetary policies, adding that stocks could soon lose over half their value in subsequent sell-off. He said the situation for markets was a mega tinderbox time bomb. Man, this journalist here likes to really go wild with this kind of terminology. Uber, what was it? Uber bearish, mega tinderbox time bomb. He really likes to use big words. I think we are on the way to something really, really bad. Of course, I'd say that. And then, so he has this fund that bets on black swan events, moving markets. He made billions during 2008 stock market crash and the 2015 flash crash and the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020. And then he's been warning of a crash since January 2023. So it's not the first time he sounded the alarm. He said the timeline in a coming crisis was clearer, and now that a recession could be in sight before the end of the year. So, okay, so if we think, I read a book by the Ray Dalio, Principles, and there was also a fantastic video from Ray Dalio you can go and watch. And so it shows that the economy goes in cycles. So you have like every decade or so, there you get stocks go up, then they crash. Stocks go up, then they crash. But overall, the stock market, from my understanding, goes always up across the years. And of course, you can have periods of growth and you can have recessions. Now, recessions, of course, is where opportunities are born if you know how to find them. Nobody can predict the stock market. Doesn't matter how many mutual funds claim that their fund can outperform the S&P 500 and there are some that are successful in doing so with great computing power, I suppose. They're able to predict the market and really play with numbers. But overall, the average Joe cannot really do that, and it's very difficult, especially if you're if you gamble, if you're a day trader. You won't expect to lose more money than you make because it's very difficult unless you get lucky, or I don't know, some huge firm is behind you, or something like politicians, for example. Take Nancy Pelosi, that really quintupled her wealth in short periods of time. How do they do that? Is it really possible to have people in Congress to gamble in the stock market? It shouldn't be possible, because if we have insider trading laws for people working in companies, we should have insider laws for politicians who know in advance what's going on and which policies are going to affect some industries and which are not. So therefore, they should not be allowed to trade in the markets because they are public servant. They do a service for the public. They get paid. They should not need to gamble in the stock market as well. However, we need to participate in the economy, like Nancy Pelosi said. So let her participate in the economy. It's not fair. Whatever. So you got these cycles. Market goes up, then a crash. Market goes up, then a crash. So how do they say? A broken clock can be it's right twice a day, because twice a day the hour comes. So I assume all these gentlemen here sooner or later are going to be right because they look at different indicators, but who really knows when a market crash is going to happen? I do not know for sure. So do they? Of course it's going to come. Who knows when? So we just don't know, but it's very difficult to speculate. In my opinion, if you want to invest in a S&P 500 fund or whatever and bet on the American economy as a proxy for your future, and not financial advice. Of course, I do not know. I'm not certified in anything, but I think betting in the U.S. economy is for the future. It's always something great because I believe in the American economy overall. So what do we have here? So this is something that really hit me. I did not read the full article. I'm just gonna go with you guys here. So this article was really surprising because apparently there is a booming business of shaming young men. So online prescription providers are raking in big bucks by preying on fears of hair loss and ED. What is erectile dysfunction? That's ED. Yeah, I just figured it out. So they say here that these young kids actually go and get generic Viagra and get it online from telehealth companies because it's very easy. And you just have to answer a multiple choice questionnaire online. A doctor is supposed to review your questions, and then this bottle of pills shows up in the mail a couple of days later. Do I think as a young person you need to use Viagra or erectile dysfunction drugs? That's the first question. Absolutely not. What the hell are we talking about here? Like, what's the world coming to? Why? Why would you need to use Viagra? It's crazy. And why young people have problems in erectile dysfunction? Is it because of that they found out that we have plastics in our penis, actually, and testicles as well? That was something that came out some time ago. And then they say that the service is fast, convenient, and positive, and it's very easy. However, Viagra is overprescribed, and there is this idea of direct consumer health industry that has exploded in different years. So the pandemic accelerated the rise of telehealth, which these DTC companies are part of, both culturally and legally. I don't know what DTC was. Telehealth something? DTC? Grandview Research estimates that the global telehealth market was worth $101.2 billion in 2023, and it's growing rapidly. Multiple startups have popped up to capitalize on this growth, with venture capital and investor dollars flowing in. Hims and Hers Health has a market cap of over $4 billion. One of the other main players in the industry, has raised over $1 billion. It has a valuation of $6.6 billion. These companies sell a wide array of products to help with everything from weight loss to mental health. Much of their business proposition, however, is targeted specifically at young men, and more specifically at their insecurities. So this is fucking insane. That's sorry for the cussing, but it is insane. So are you worried about your hairline, your fertility? What about getting an erection? Are you scared to talk to a doctor face-to-face about any of this? Well, Hims promises you can skip the awkward doctor visit and offers like erectile dysfunction meds from your couch. A healthy, handsome you is only a click away. Wow. So these platforms are basically set to minimize the distance from advertising and hooking the consumer to getting a prescription in their hand. And then the advantage of that is efficiency. People understandably don't have a lot of time always to spend at these sort of things. The downside is that the risks are not, the people are not making fully informed decisions, and that kind of advice that you're getting is being colored by the company financial incentives rather than a doctor honest opinion and what's in your medical best interest. So this is insane. So you go to a website, probably because you saw an ad for it, fill out a questionnaire about your condition, as I mentioned before, maybe chat with a doctor, often you don't, and then voila, a prescription is on its way to you, in what's promised to be discreet packaging. It typically bypasses traditional healthcare settings, and often there is little to no involvement of a healthcare provider. Wow, that's insane. There is some altruistic appeal. DTC medications services can help with access for people who live in remote areas and can't easily get a doctor for many clients, and especially young men. The upside is that it's simply more convenient than a traditional appointment. Wow. And then they say, in general, men are less likely. So men usually don't talk a lot with anyone. We don't. We just try to keep every problem for ourselves. Any health issues, we keep it for ourselves. Unless it gets worse, then it's just to carry us to the ER, basically. That's what's the case with me. And then, so men are less likely to utilize healthcare compared to women. That's true. And we know that many young men don't even want to have a primary care physician to begin with. So the process of establishing care can be daunting, especially when it can take months to get an appointment. Even if you don't have a relationship with a medical provider, you may not be the type where they feel comfortable bringing up sensitive or stigmatized issues. Research indicates that when it comes to seeking care for sexual health concerns, privacy is a primary consideration for young men. Yeah, men use DTC platforms, cite convenience as an important motivation, as well as embarrassment and discretion. That is true. Financial factors aren't very much in play. A survey conducted in late 2019 and early 2020 found that men under 40 and in the middle income range were likelier to use DTC. Can I just, excuse me one moment? I'm really having a hard time here. What the hell are DTC? Healthcare meaning? Because pharma direct-to-consumer healthcare. Direct-to-consumer healthcare. That's it. There you go. Now I know. Wow. I really didn't know about this. Because they say that they can also end up paying more for care that be more affordable elsewhere or even covered by the medical insurance. This is kind of a way to go behind. So you have insurance companies, if you prescribe medications, it goes through them. But this is a way to go around the insurance companies, direct to consumer health. So their thing is like, you fill out this questionnaire and we see what kind of symptoms you experience. We keep your privacy at the same time, and you still can buy this generic medication. Wow. That's crazy. These companies are in the business of selling drugs. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American extreme capitalism. So, drugs for profits, basically. When you're in person and you're doing telehealth through a more established healthcare entity, there's a little bit more collection of your medical history. So that's you got privacy. So that's it. You have privacy, but you have insecurities. These people are they're selling drugs basically directly. So DTC telehealth can play a role in people getting treatment they may otherwise not seek, whether for alcoholism or depression or hair loss. At least they can help people realize they're not so alone in whatever. So yes, this is the perfect example of baiting young people. They are insecure, don't know anything because nobody talks anymore. These young people don't talk. They spend most of their time online, maybe on social media, maybe among their peers, and parents don't know anything. Even if you're 18, 20, you don't talk to your parents like that anymore. Unless you have a different kind of relationship with your parents that you establish over the years. So, you're vulnerable like this, and you say, oh, maybe I need this drug. I'm losing my hair. I need this drug. I have erectile dysfunction. I don't want to talk about this because it's a taboo thing. It's like if somebody sees that I have erectile dysfunction, it's it's really bad for me. And I understand that. Yeah, kind of is. I mean, if you're a young guy and you have erectile dysfunction, it's insane. You cannot really cope with that. So therefore, what are you gonna do? You're gonna throw yourself and need Viagra. And I don't know. Is this a good thing, or is just another extreme capitalistic business model? It is, but how about the healthcare here in the United States? So I come from Italy, and I was always throughout my life, when I was born and raised, was 27 when I moved in the US. So I lived the majority of my life in Italy. And we did not have any concerns. We didn't even think about having financial problems if you go to the hospital to care for yourself. It was unthinkable. So what you do if you need X-ray or anything, you go to the doctor. The doctor can prescribe you, say, hey, you need an X-ray, and then depending on your income, you might pay a small percentage of it. It's like really not overwhelming. You could choose to go private as well with the doctor paperwork that he prepares for you. And you're going to pay if you go private, of course. But if you go through the public way, you're going to have to wait months, 1 or 2 months, or if you need to do any medical procedure, because the system is saturated with hundreds of thousands, I suppose, of other people. They need services. Therefore, first come, first serve. They were before you, and you're gonna have to wait. Is it this a good thing if you have a more serious health issue like cancer or something else, something that is more timely, that needs to be addressed? And yes, that's an important concern. Here in the United States, you have your health insurance that negotiates with the doctors. So you go to your family doctor, and then you find the problem, and they have you find a prescription. 1 month ago, my son about a month ago, a little bit more, broke his collarbone, and he went to the ER, did all kinds of tests and everything, like the most disparate tests and stuff. It was like the hospital he went to was going hands over fist, So like, oh man, this is huge opportunity to make money. So let's do all kinds of tests on him, and they did that. I was not there. We didn't budge. It was okay. It was for his health. I understand that. But set up an appointment, call my insurance, say, hey, can you give me a orthopedic in network? And say, yeah, sure. And I make a call. 3-4 days later, I have the appointment with the doctor. And I go there. Doctor said that the X-ray, of course, I must say he might need surgery. He's still growing. He's 13, so the collarbone is like this. He's going to grow with this shoulder hunched. If he doesn't do that, perfect. Okay, we can do the surgery as early as, it was Monday, the appointment, as early as Thursday. I say, perfect, Thursday, Friday. Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Why? Because it's private. It's privatized. And so we went through that route. But if it was in Italy instead, when I broke my legs, my leg one, tibia and fibula, in a martial arts tournament, I broke my leg and I went through the ER. And I had to wait 4 days with my leg in traction because there were already too many orthopedic accidents that had priority over me for surgery. So I suffered for 4 days without pain medications. I mean, there was a kind of the cost of it was me waiting, but my son waited for days too. He had an arm sling and waited. So what is the the notion here with this service, direct consumer to care to consumer, what was the deal here? I forgot. Pharma direct to consumer healthcare. It's a business model. Same thing here with healthcare in the United States. Yeah, you pay your insurance, and I come down to this. What do I prefer? Do I prefer the universal healthcare? Of course I do. I have developed a more conservative mindset throughout the years, and I was a fervent Democrat in the past 8 years, I would say. But then my optics have changed terribly. Wonderfully. Thank God they changed. In the past 3-4 years, I opened my eyes. And you see that little thing where you're left and the left is going way, 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 way left, and you're almost in the middle and you are in the right. So that's what happened to me. There are costs to public health. Yes, I do know. Is there an opportunity for people to take advantage of the system? If it's free, yes. Yes, human nature. If it's free, they take advantage of it, they use it. However, does anybody deserve to be bankrupt in order to have healthcare? No, absolutely not. So I think if we have billions of dollars to send over to Ukraine, we have billions of dollars that we could send over to have a single payer option for people and to have access to healthcare. So have at it in the comments if you have your opinion for it. I understand that there are costs involved, but this is another perfect example of the mafia, that you have hospitals, insurance companies negotiating these astronomical prices for bullshit items that will cost hundreds of dollars, and if you go to another country they cost cents on the dollar. And that's really something that I never understood, why you have to go that way, why you have to make 1000x profit on over 100x, 2000x, I don't know, whatever it is on this drug, when another country sells it for much, much less than it's affordable, it's life-saving. So at the end, yes, you are a customer of the healthcare system, and you do not have another choice, because you're going to be in a tug of war between death or you become a customer. You're forced to do so. So that's a tough choice to be in. However, we as healthy individuals, we have a choice. What is the choice? Is that we take care of the basics. Good diet, good sleep, exercise. You have no idea how much these 3 things can really knock down most of the drugs, stress, all the health factors that destroy the modern angst, the modern problems that give rise to obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all kinds of heart problems that affect the majority of the people nowadays here in the United States. So you could take those small measures every day to improve your life. It's not BS. It is real. Yes, no, I'm not being fat phobic or anything. I'm just telling you the truth. So it's science, it's proven. If you're fat, you have a higher risk of dying or high blood pressure, develop heart issues, develop diabetes, and different kinds of complications with your health. So we can start from there. However, direct-to-consumer healthcare, does it have its pros? Yeah, it's convenient. Yeah, it gives you privacy. Is it a little bit more expensive? I guess it is, but is it a good idea to prey on young men's vulnerabilities? I don't think it is, and we find the evil side of of a how can you say, of a capitalist way. I'm saying I love capitalism. I'm not saying anything bad, but there can be crony capitalism and maybe preying on somebody in order to make a profit for health. It's a crazy business model, and I don't know if it's appropriate, if it's ethical, if it's an ethical thing to do. So I really hope that people make informed decisions and do what's good for your health, and maybe even just seek help with somebody, So that's all I have for today, folks. It's been really nice. I feel like I can flow a little bit better. I'm improving my speech and really taking my time here, and also getting more familiar with the editing part of the process and publishing videos. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments that I can answer and address for you. And I will see you next time. Well, thank you for tuning in.